Hello, Colorado. It's time for Rise and Unwind. My name is Dan. You know, each and every week we talk to people from across the country about things you could do right here in your neighborhood. And on this week's show, we got this.
Anything that we can do to just feel normal again. You used to not have to think about, focusing up close. So it's super frustrating.
And you bring together the celebration with the ingredients, with the season. Then, it's a win-win to create beautiful, long-lasting memories.
All of that and more right here on Rise and Unwind. Apple TV Plus's epic sci-fi drama Invasion is back for season 3, and things are getting more intense than ever. The aliens are evolving, the stakes are higher, and for the first time, all of the main characters are coming together to face the threat head on. So joining us this morning is Erika Alexander, who steps into the series as Verna, a brand new character shaking things up in the latest season. Welcome, Erika. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you. How are you?
I'm doing okay. I've been excited. We've been talking about this series for a little bit. For fans who have been following the series, season 3 raises the bar a bit. What makes the season stand out compared to the first 2?
Well, the first 2, they were fighting the aliens and they defeated them. And there's been 2 years of peace. So they spent 2 seasons fighting really hard. But we're going to find out in the 3rd season that all is not well on the home front. And they are all together now. That's what's different. They were fighting from different points in the planet, whether it was Staley in Japan and Gaul, wherever she went. They were. Oh, by the way, this show is an international show because they were filming in South Africa and New York and all of these places. It was a big lift, and they've been doing it well. And so it was the first time many of them were meeting in real life. So I was glad to join the cast just at that moment.
And your character, Verna, is new to the story. Can you tell us about her and the role she plays in this global fight against the invasion?
Sure. Verna, Marilyn was her name before the invasion. Verna is who she becomes. Was a people pleaser. And she was a person who was in support of her sister and her nephew and her boss and all of these people. But what she finds out on the other side, dealing with her deep grief, is that she becomes something else. And she uses those skills, those organizational skills, and to become a leader. And not necessarily from the greatest place, but she is very human in that journey.
And one of the big shifts this season is that the characters' perspectives, they all finally collide and start, they're forced to work together. How does that change the tone or the energy of the series?
I think it's always really wonderful for people who have been fans and watched the show, for people to start that they've admired, to see how they're going to work against or for with other people that they've never met. And, we imagine that the actors are not necessarily the characters, but I think there's a certain kind of buzz you get when you put 2 things together, like peanut butter and chocolate. So I think that that's really fun. And there's a lot of really great special effects and collaboration with the productions designer and all of these things happening that, there's certain characters who can speak to telepathy and all of those things. So there's a great design in the way Simon Kinberg built out a huge world. And for the characters to finally meet and work within that world is what this 3rd season is about, along with these apex predator aliens who are coming at us hardcore. And they are scary creatures, but they're also fighting these very human battles.
And yeah, you're right. The show has been praised for its incredible visuals and suspenseful storytelling. What was it like for you stepping into this world and filming these big cinematic moments?
It was a lot. I'm not gonna lie. You need to use your imagination in order to play these characters, because a lot of the time you're staring at nothing. I mean, nothing. Look over there, scream, clap, and you just have to go with it. And that there's people who are professionals who know what they're doing. You stay in the moment and you authentically try to deliver something that's spontaneous and brand new and feels fresh, even though you're doing it over and over again. And you've got a lot of amazing background players who are inside of it. And everyone's just working to collaborate to make this world. I think humans are amazing, that we spend a lot of our time just telling stories. And we are desperate for people to understand who we are. I think that is a message in the bottle to whoever shows up, whether we're here or not to see them, we'll see. But I do believe that that's our love letter to the galaxy, is our stories.
Erika Alexander, I want to thank you for joining me this morning. You could stream season 3 of Invasion right now on Apple TV Plus, with new episodes dropping every Friday through October 24th. So don't miss it. Erika, thanks for joining me.
Thank you, and appreciate the opportunity to be with you.
Have you ever wondered how investigators actually track down predators hiding behind a screen? Online crimes against children are one of the fastest growing threats, and the work to stop them often happens quietly through digital clues, undercover conversations, and long investigations. A new investigative series gives viewers a rare look inside those operations. Detective Tony Godwin leads the Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force in North Texas and has worked nearly 7,000 cases over a 30-year career. Detective Godwin joins us now. Welcome to the show, my friend. How are you?
I am great. Thank you very much for having me. I appreciate the opportunity.
So your team investigates crimes that start online but can have real consequences. What does a typical case look like from the first digital clue to the moment someone is arrested?
I mean, it really evolves rapidly. That's the one thing that I think the audience is going to notice, how quickly things happen and how quickly things escalate. But from the moment we put ourselves in this situation in an undercover capacity and the elements of the crime are met, which doesn't take long at all, like it's so fast and so quick, then it takes me and my entire team to put together all the steps necessary, legal process, and put all the affirmative links back together to figure out where this person is, who this person is, and then get ready for a takedown and hopefully a good arrest.
In the series, we see undercover operations where investigators pose as minors online. What goes into building those cases and making sure the evidence holds up in court?
I mean, people need to remember that everything that we do in an undercover capacity is based on what we know has happened to a real child. Unfortunately, children are exploited every single day online. And as a result, those reports get made and sent to us, and those are called reactive cases. So we know where they go. We know how they're talking. We know what they're doing, and we know what's happening to them. So we base everything we do in the undercover world just like that. We just put ourselves out there. Once it happens, once the communications start, which does not take long at all. And then once those elements go is when we move forward with all the legal process to get things tied together in a nice big bow on top of it, and hopefully ends with a great arrest and a successful prosecution.
And you've worked nearly 7,000 cases during your career. How has the way predators online changed over the years?
Well, we saw a big increase during the COVID time, I will tell you that. We were forcing our children online and into school environments in an online capacity. And so we were just generally pushing everybody online because of our COVID scare and the things that were going around that. And so at the end of the day, it's like a pleasure paradise playground for these predatory types who are already in these platforms and doing what they're doing. And so they had a target-rich environment in front of them. So it has increased. And so also awareness has increased over time, but I'm hopeful it's going to increase even more with the show that's come out on A&E, because we want that intentionality. We want people to know. We want to raise the awareness level of the average person who maybe has some knowledge of this, but doesn't really understand the gravity of what it is. And you're going to see this highlighted in the show. Obviously, it ends with a nice high five moment when we put people in cuffs and we arrest them. And that's a very satisfying, rewarding part of the process.
And for parents that might be watching this at home, what are some of the warning signs that a child might be interacting with someone dangerous online?
Yeah, that's a really good question. First and foremost, I would say pay attention to the behavior changes. You know your child better than anybody. So if you have a child who's an A student that comes down to a C or a D student, then at the end of the day, you know something's going on. Maybe their friend group has changed a little bit. Maybe they're normally very outgoing, but all of a sudden they're really introverted. That could be a red flag that something's going on. Secondly, I would say know how to access your kid's device. Know the passcodes. Know the platforms they go to. Know that some of the platforms have their own passcodes that might be different from the code to get into the phone. Educate yourself about what they're doing and how they're doing it. Being intentional over time, not a one-time deal. This isn't I get to go look one time and then back out of it. If you need to use monitoring software to help with that, then do that. I'm a big proponent of that. But you need to be very intentional. You need to lean in. You need to have constructive, age-appropriate conversations with your kiddo so that at the end of the day, if something does happen, that child's going to come to you or a trusted adult and say, hey, I'm in a pickle, I've done something, or this is what's happened, I need some help. And you already have a path of what's going to happen to get that child back on a good restorative path.
And the show gives viewers a behind-the-scenes look at your task force and the work that you do every day. What do you hope people understand better after watching these investigations play out?
I mean, take into account, there's a little bit of shock and a little bit of awe. Most people are going to notice because after the first show came out last week, my phone almost melted with all these comments and questions about how graphic these predators are and how quickly things escalate. And that is reality. And so I think they're going to take away that, but I think they're also going to have this awareness level that has just increased exponentially. I think they're going to learn from some takeaways that are going to be highlighted on the show, that what they can do and what if something has happened, what if something's already happened. There's a lot of resources that are available to them. And I think they're going to enjoy the entertainment side of it, which is the arrest or the takedown. Those are all really great moments. And I'm really happy to be a part of the program with A&E.
Detective Godwin, I want to thank you for joining me today. You can watch Predator Hunters Thursdays on A&E, and episodes are also available to stream on the A&E app and ANETV.com. Detective Tony Godwin, I really want to thank you for joining us today.
I really appreciate your time. I appreciate the opportunity to talk to your audience. Thank you so much.
Fans of When Calls the Heart are finally getting the backstory, and it's a pretty big one. Hope Valley 1874 is now streaming, taking us to the very beginning of the town and the people who pretty much built it. We're joined by Bethany Joy Lenz and Jill Hennessy, who play two of the women at the center of it all. And it's great to have you two here. How are you?
Hi, so great to be here.
All right.
Thank you for having us.
No worries. I've heard a lot about this. A lot of my fans, or a lot of the people watching, are fans of the show. And for people that do already or are already fans of this world, what's different about seeing Hope Valley kind of at the way beginning?
Oh man, I think it's going to be so incredible, I think, for people to be able to see this town being built from the ground up. It's something. It's kind of like when you meet a new friend, or fall in love. The more that you find out about the person that you're in love with, you go to meet their family, you go and meet their siblings, you go sit there with their mom and go through the family photo book. Like, that's what we're giving you guys a chance to do as fans of When Calls the Heart. And we really hope to do it justice.
And Bethany, your character, Rebecca, is coming into the frontier life from pretty much Chicago life. What kind of adjustment is she dealing with early on?
Well, there are several adjustments. The first being that she's been recently widowed. So trying to figure out emotionally where to place her grief while also being in this sort of emergency situation of needing to get her daughter to a safe place. And we don't know exactly why yet. Well, we know, but you're going to find out. And she's got to get across the frontier and get her daughter into a safe place in Canada. So she doesn't have a lot of time for emotional processing. And that's kind of where Hattie Quinn comes in. Jill's character, it opens up once Rebecca lands. Hattie becomes a source of stability and trust for Rebecca to actually start to learn how to soften and open up.
And yeah, she was saying, Jill, Hattie's already part of this community. How would you describe her role in shaping what Hope Valley becomes?
Wow. Well, she's Hattie Quinn runs the trading post, and she originally came out with her husband and very small girl at the beginning. And now her daughter is around 20 years old, but she recently lost her husband. So now she's running this trading post by herself with her daughter. And she is sort of the glue that holds the community together. And I think she runs it with a great sense of humor and incredible, direct, no nonsense kind of spirit, and has great connections with the whole community. But then Rebecca starts walking into town with her daughter, riding in a covered wagon. And I think Hattie identifies a woman who's very courageous and intelligent and is kind of haunted by something, and Hattie's not sure what is haunting Rebecca, but I think she also identifies a kindred spirit that she might become friends with. And I think Rebecca sort of opens Hattie up to how lonely she really feels, and a lot of feelings she's been trying to suppress just so she can get through day to day, because that's what this whole show is about. It's just these characters trying to survive every single day.
Hey, horses be walking, so it's not that big. You're not too far off.
Exactly.
All right, when people start watching now, what do you think is going to be like getting them hooked and keep them coming back each and every week?
The characters. I mean, the setting is amazing, but it's also something that they've seen before, maybe not as broken down, but we are using the When Calls the Heart sets. There are a few locations that will be new for When Calls fans. And for people who haven't watched When Calls the Heart, you don't need to. You can still jump right in and you won't miss a beat. But I would say the relationships of who the characters are there's something for everyone.
Hey, I want to thank you two for joining me today. Hope Valley 1874 is streaming now on Hallmark Plus with new episodes dropping every Thursday. You can jump in anytime to catch up. Thank you two for joining me today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
A missing pet is one of those moments every pet owner dreads, and it happens more often than people think. There's a new tool using AI to help bring them home faster, and it's already making a big impact. Chelsea Staley is the president of Petco Love, and she's here to walk us through how it works. Welcome to the show, Chelsea. How are you?
I'm well. How are you? Thanks for your time.
I'm doing good. It's always hard to have a pet go missing, but Petco Love has reunited over 250,000 pets with their families. So can you tell us what it is and how did you guys hit that milestone?
For sure. So first, 1 in 3 pets goes missing in their lifetime, which is a scary proposition for any pet lover, right? And so Petco Love Lost is a free national lost and found pet database that uses AI photo matching technology to search for lost pet matches. So if your pet goes missing, you upload a clear photo of your pet. Good Samaritans who find pets do the same. There are also shelters in the network in Colorado Springs, specifically Humane Society of Pikes Peak. And then we also partner with various social media platforms like Neighbors to search against hundreds of thousands of lost and found pet reports and photos to help bring your pet home as quickly as possible.
So how does that AI technology actually work?
That's a great question. So in addition to the photos searching against hundreds of thousands of other pet photos, it uses more than 500 data points for each photo that it looks at. So it looks at the color of your pet's eyes, it looks at their coat pattern, the distance between their ears, et cetera, to find the most likely pet that could be your lost pet.
And I know it's tough when a pet goes missing and you realize it's gone. What should you do first?
If your pet goes missing, it is incredibly scary, but don't panic. Do act quickly. Go to petcolovelost.org, upload, again, a clear photo of your pet and report your pet as missing. That allows us to start searching for matches as quickly as possible. It also offers a toolkit that is completely free. It gives lost pet parents helpful tips and tools on how to help locate their lost pet. And it has assets that you can share on your own social media to spread the word. We do reunite a lost pet every 4 minutes.
And before pretty much anything ever happens, what are some simple ways to keep pets safer at home?
Sure. So an ounce of prevention, of course, is worth a pound of a cure. And so while collars and tags and microchips are certainly tools in the toolbox, Petco Love Lost is also a tool in the toolbox. So go to petcolovelost.org and go ahead and create a pet profile for your pet, upload a clear photo, mark your pet safe at home. So in the instance that they do go missing, God forbid, you can just log in and click My Pet is Missing and start searching for matches immediately.
So have there been any reunions that have really stuck with you?
Absolutely. 250,000 reunions, but there are hundreds of really heartwarming reunions. But I live in San Antonio, Texas, and last summer during the Central Texas flooding on July 4th, there was a senior blind dog named Sandy. I have a heart for senior dogs. Blind dog named Sandy went missing during the flooding, and you can imagine how scary that was for her family knowing that she is a blind senior. She was missing for more than 30 days, but she was reunited safe and sound via Petco Love Lost.
All right, Chelsea, where can people go to learn more and maybe use the service?
Sure. To learn more and mark your pet safe at home, you can go to petcolovelost.org.
Hey, I want to thank you for joining me today.
Yeah, thank you so much for your time.
There's this moment where reading something up close just, stops being easy. You start adjusting distance, lighting, whatever works, and it sneaks up on people. It's called presbyopia, I think. And it's more common than most people expect. And we have a Dr. Amanda Nanasy, who's going to correct my pronunciation and walk us through what's actually happened. Good to see you here, doctor. How are you?
Nice to see you, Dan. And I got to tell you, your pronunciation was pretty good. It is a condition that is as frustrating as it is to pronounce.
Oh, good.
So.
Good. There's that moment where you start pushing things a little further away, and it's happening to me. And I went to an eye doctor, and they're like, yeah, this is kind of normal. But like, what actually is physically going on with your eyes?
So there is a lens on the inside of your eye that's been there your whole life, focusing like the lens of a camera. And right around the time that we have about 40 birthdays, it gets to where it doesn't want to be as flexible, which is why we find ourselves pulling things out to get more clear or looking for more light. Anything that we can do to just feel normal again. You used to not have to think about focusing up close. So it's super frustrating, but like you said, completely normal. And the solutions that we have now are a lot better than what our parents and our grandparents had.
And I'm on a computer up to 27 hours in a day. And yes, that is true, 27 hours in a full day. And I resorted to these little over-the-counter readers. They kind of help, but where do they fall short?
Well, it's a really common thing for people to reach for those because they do kind of work in a pinch, right? But one, they're annoying, and you probably have at least 5 pairs of them, and you're lucky if you can find them when you need them, right? And your vision's not probably as great as it could be if you were in a pair of the prescription glasses. And a lot of times that's what we get when we go to the eye care provider is we get a pair of glasses that now let you see up close and far away and in between, all with no line. But there are contact lenses now where you can see up close and far away seamlessly at all distances that are my personal favorite option for my patients because it's like you don't need glasses at all.
Hey, if the Beatles could say 8 days a week, I could say 27 hours in a day, all right? This tends to show up in people in their midlife. I'm not going to call myself out, but how does this tie into other vision changes happening pretty much at the same time?
Right. I actually don't even like that term midlife because I feel like even though I might have an age, a number associated with me, I am so busy and doing a million things and I don't have time to stop and look for readers. So a lot of times we'll also be on screens more that I don't know about 27 hours. That might be the best I've heard yet. But a lot of people that are on screens a lot have a lot of dry eye. And if you feel like your eyes are gritty or you're reaching for those over-the-counter artificial tears, that impacts not only your vision, but your comfort. So again, when I do it like a contact lens, like Daly's Total One multifocal that approaches nearly 100% water at the surface, I can not only make you see everything clearly, but keep you really comfortable all day. And it's just such an elegant solution for us to really pretend like this whole presbyopia thing never happened at all.
And you suggest starting with a full eye exam. What does that process look like?
Well, you're going to go in and they're going to, of course, check your vision and find that best prescription to keep you clear at all distances. And even more importantly, they're going to check the health of your eyes because even though this presbyopia thing that happens to all of us, that has symptoms. But some of the other things that could happen, like glaucoma, don't have any symptoms. So it's important to make sure that the health of your eyes are also right where you need them to be. So they're going to look at the back of the eye, look at blood vessels, which can sometimes give us clues to high blood pressure, diabetes. And I'll tell you, honestly, a lot of patients that haven't ever been to an eye doctor, they show up in my chair because they can't see up close. And then sometimes we find other things going on that we can take care of just because they were annoyed with the readers.
All right, Dr. Nanasy, I want to thank you for joining me today. Where can people go if they want to look into this more?
Oh, I see what you did there. I liked it. You can check out myalcon.com/consumer, and you'll find information about presbyopia and some of the contacts we discussed, as well as, and most importantly, find an eye care provider near you if you do not already have one.
Hey, I want to thank you for joining me today.
Thank you.
There's been a shift with Mother's Day. It's less about what you buy and more about how you show up. And for a lot of families, that ends up happening around the table. Chef Pati Jinich is here with some ideas that make a simple brunch feel more like something that's memorable without overcomplicating it. It's good to have you back at the show, Pati. How are you, my friend?
So good to connect, Dan. Thanks for having me on today.
All right, so moms have been saying for a while that they just want time, not just gifts. So are people starting to learn or lean into that a little bit?
That is what we want, Dan. And I think that, yes, absolutely. Families are starting to get it. And food has the power to bring us together. We want to cook with our family and friends. We want to spend time in the kitchen. We want to spend time around the table. We want to create meaningful, long-lasting memories, and that shared experience is the gift that keeps on giving and the gift that we can come back to again and again.
So what is it about food and tradition that makes those moments stick a little more?
I mean, I think that across cultures, and I can speak more closely to Latin American cuisines and Mexican homes, food is really at the center of celebrations. And when you combine that with seasonal ingredients, and now we're in the middle of spring, so you can bring the bold, bright seasonal ingredients, the juicy and sweet mangoes, the creamy avocados, the fresh herbs, the nutritious Eggland's Best eggs, and you bring together the celebration with the ingredients, with the season, then, it's a win-win to create beautiful, long-lasting memories.
So when it comes to brunch, what are you making that feels special, but doable at the same time?
Dan, I have a very fun and festive Mother's Day brunch spread for you today. And these are easy recipes, but so delicious. I have corn tortilla egg nests, which are like a play on eggs in a hole, but you cook the eggs inside of a corn tortilla as it puffs. And so it's like a breakfast taco in a way. You top it with guacamole, salsa, cream, queso fresco. It's a feast to see, a feast to eat. Then I have a ham and cheese dish that has a Mexican kick with pickled jalapenos. And this is not only delicious, but you can make it ahead of time. So it makes it easy to entertain. And then for dessert, I have my take on the key lime pie, which is a mango key lime pie and a coconut whipped cream. So it's tropical, it's a little bit sweeter, it has more layers of flavor. The pie is creamy because of the egg yolks, the crust is crumbly, and all of these recipes are showstoppers, but also nutritious because all of them use Eggland's Best eggs, which have 6 times more vitamin D, 10 times more vitamin E, 25% less saturated fat compared to ordinary eggs. So we're making food that's delicious, but we're also adding more nutrition to the food that we're serving to our family and friends.
And for people that don't cook a lot, not to call myself out, but to me, cuisine and cooking is usually just a microwave burrito with a sprinkle of cheese on top. But how approachable are these recipes?
Dan, these are easy. You can customize it. If you don't get the corn tortilla egg nest perfectly right, you just add more salsa on top. These are ingredients that are easy to find, very easy steps. If you go to egglandsbest.com, you can see not only the step-by-step recipe, but we have images. We have photos for you to see what you're aiming for. And they're really designed to take the stress out of cooking. And they're also packed with nutrition because of Eggland's Best eggs. So it's not to be afraid. Jump in the kitchen. Just give yourself a little bit of time. All
right. Pati Jinich says is putting confidence in me a little bit. So I'm excited for that.
You can do it, Dan.
If anybody's interested, where can they go to try some of these recipes themselves?
Egglandsbest.com. You can find these recipes and many more. And happy Mother's Day.
Pati, I really want to thank you for joining me today.
Thank you, Dan.
And that's it for Rise and Unwind, Colorado. I want to thank you for tuning in and checking out the show. If you want to find out more about our show, go to our website. That's riseunwindtv.com. We're on social media. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. That's where you can get some behind-the-scenes photos and maybe some additional interviews. We're also on YouTube. That is at Rise Unwind for all of the above. And until next week, that was the show we like to call Rise and Unwind, Colorado.